Hey guys, it's Draw Near Moment. My name is Titus, and we're talking about money today, and more specifically, the top 5 money truths. Let's get to it. Now, if I came to you and I asked, what do you think the most popular topic Jesus talked about was, or maybe just the most popular topic in the Bible, you might come back and say, well, maybe it's about faith, or prayer, or hope, or God, or just whatever. And those things are in there, don't get me wrong, but the most popular thing, at least the thing that Jesus talked about the most, was money. And that might be surprising. And even though that the Bible's really old, and a lot of times we were like, yeah, I don't know if that's really relevant today, I want to give you top 5, or my top 5 on the money truths that I found in the Bible that I applied to our life, and it helps us out a lot. And so even if you don't believe the Bible, just don't go anywhere, just let me show you these top 5 truths, because I think you will find out the Bible's a little bit more relevant than you thought it was, at least when it comes to money. So let's get to number 1. Now this one might surprise you. Cosigning. Cosigning for someone else's loan. In other words, you're writing your name next to theirs because they're trying to buy something and the bank doesn't trust them to pay for it. Now the Bible's very clear about this. It says in Proverbs 6:1, now I'm not reciting this from memory, there's just a laptop down here, but it says, "My child, if you co-sign a loan for a friend or guarantee the debt of someone you hardly know, you have trapped yourself by your agreement and are caught by what you said. Quick, get out of it if you possibly can." I love this because the Bible's not like, this is a sin, this is a horrible thing. It's just saying, like, this is dangerous. Stay away from it. And let's be honest, the bank wants you to co-sign with somebody because they don't trust them to pay for it. And another reason why I would say stay away from co-signing, this isn't the Bible, this is just my personal opinion, is that a loan period, especially when they want you to co-sign for, is going to typically be like for 5 years or 10 years or 30 years or whatever the term is, but it's a long time, and a lot can change in that time. And a lot of people get surprised when they get a phone call from 5 years ago from a bank saying, hey, the person that you co-signed for is no longer paying for this car. It's now your responsibility. Pay up. Now, if you want to do a co-sign, here's the only way I would say it's okay. As long as you understand what you are signing up for. And that's, you are saying, I strongly believe they're going to pay for it, but if they don't, I got it covered. So stay away from it if you're not willing to take that risk. Saving. Believe it or not, the Bible talks about saving. Now this may be a boring thing, especially in our culture. And we like to treat money like it's like a bug or something. We're like, get it off me. Like, we see money in the bank account and we're like, I gotta spend it. Like, what can I buy on it? In our culture, we are so obsessed with just removing money from ourselves. But at the same time, some of the things that we're most stressed about is work. And you work for money, and if you're spending all your money, that means you have to work more, and it's just this crazy, psychotic thing that we do as a culture, and we decide, you know what, there's no need to save. But the Bible's pretty clear about this. In Proverbs 21:20, it says, "There is treasure to be desired, and oil in the dwellings of the wise, but a foolish man spends all of it." A foolish person spends everything they have. Listen, the only thing we can be sure about is that the unsurety in life. Bad things are going to happen. You need to be ready. Not with a credit card, but with a savings account or something to back yourself up. Debt. Yes, debt. Debt is one of those things in our culture that we are just totally okay with. It's kind of become like a guest in your house that's just always there. We don't really consider that maybe we shouldn't have debt. We love getting our new cars, our new houses. We love, going to school and getting into a lot of debt. But the Bible's pretty clear about this. In, Proverbs 22:7, "The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is a slave to the lender." Now, if you want to be a slave to your bank and be in debt, then you can do that. But there are better options out there. In fact, there's another verse that talks about the idea that if you find yourself in debt, flee it like a gazelle. Like, get out of there. Like, do whatever you can to work your way out of debt. And they actually surveyed some of the richest people in the world, and they asked them, how do you get wealthy and stay wealthy? And the number one way was get out of debt and stay out of debt. If you're not paying interest, that opens up the possibility that you get paid interest. And the cool thing about money is money can work a lot harder than you can because it doesn't get sick, it doesn't take days off. It can work a lot harder. And if you're the one getting the interest and not paying the interest, your future will be bright. Now this next one is the secret of life, really. And if we can get this thing, life will be so much better for us. And that's the idea of contentment. Being content with what you have. Now that's one of our huge problems in America, because we are never content. We want the iPhone 16, the iPhone 6 and the 6 Plus just came out, and we're like going crazy, throwing money at them. Just take our money. But if we were just content with our older phones, or our older cars, our older houses, our older stuff, then we could actually be financially more stable. Now, let's check out this verse right here. Hebrews 13:5. Keep your lives free from the love of money and be content with what you have. Powerful stuff, and it ends with this comment: because God has said, I will never leave you and I will never forsake you. Now the last one is a little bit scarier than the rest of them, but when you think about it, you find out that if you just really go into it, you will find out that it's true as well. So I don't want to preface it, let's just go right into it. And so that's in 1 Timothy 6:10. For the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. Now a lot of times, you've probably heard that, and a lot of times people want to say that money is the root of all evil, but that's actually not what it says. It says the love of money is the root of all evil. Money can corrupt the most saintly people. Like some of the best people in the world can be corrupted by money. And you need to watch yourself, because if you start caring more about money than you do about people, that's when the world starts becoming a dangerous place. And we need to fight that. Now here's another verse that I want to give you a little bit of a 2-for-1 special for. And that's in Matthew 6:24. No one can serve two masters. Now before I jump into the rest of it, you might be thinking, is it God and the devil, God and, our families, and what is it? I don't know. But it's about money. Surprise, surprise, that's what we're talking about. Either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. In life, you get to pick. You can serve money, which is no. Money serves me, Titus. It does what I want it to do. But no, a lot of people are so obsessed with money that they are the ones serving the money. They live for the almighty dollar, to get more and more and more of it, to save and save and save it. And if you get too obsessed with money, it can ruin your life. Be generous. Be giving. Be, just an all-around good person, and never love money more than you love people. It's a dangerous and slippery slope. And I think all of us struggle with that sometimes when we look at the money and just we start thinking that money is our security. Money, when all else fails, money will save everything. But then if you get sick and money can't solve that, or if you have a relationship blow up, you realize that how powerless money really is over your life. So don't forget that one. A lot of times we want to think it's those big corporate, people up top in the corporate ladder that are the ones worried about this. And that probably is true, but it can happen to anybody. Money can corrupt the best people in the world. And so that's my top 5, guys. We have explored all kinds of assets of money. And the cool thing about all this is there's a lot more stuff in the Bible about money. I had to actually filter it out. In fact, I told you before, it's pretty much the most popular topic in the Bible. And Jesus talked about it more than anything. So if you want to know more, check the source, and that's the Bible. I want to thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Draw Near Moment. I hope this whole talk on money was helpful. These principles are simple, but they can be very difficult to apply to our lives. So just take them step by step, and me and Leslie try to live by these, me and my wife, and it's benefited us greatly. So take a look at that. Anyway, next week I'm going to be talking about video games. Now you may wonder, what? This show has nothing to do with any of that. Well, just stick with me. I'm going to talk about what the biggest problem with video games is. And if you want to hear that, or you want to see that, hit that subscribe button at the bottom, and then that will let you know when that video is up. Or if it's already been a week since this video has come out, you can just hit that next button and it'll take you right to it. But anyway, I want to thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Draw Near Moment, and I will see you next week.